It's Mount Rudmore here, and I am back talking some more BB25. The last stream I did was on Thursday. It was before the HOH competition had even started. When I last did this, we didn't even have an HOH. So, with all that's gone on, I didn't think this much would happen. But I mean, there's been a lot. And I'm just going to get right into it, try to get through it as fast as I can because there has been a lot. And let's just start with our new HOH, the first HOH of the season. It is Riley, the one person that was left out of our draft. I did a draft with my brother and my dad. And at the time, we thought there were only 16 people, but we each picked five, and then we had one left out, and we left Riley out. And the thing is, this happened 2 years ago as well. We left Frenchie out, and he became the first HOH. And for that matter, last year we left Turner out. He did not win the first HOH, but he was one of the three that got to compete for it. There were three qualifying games to compete for HOH, and Turner won his. So he had a 1 in 3 chance of becoming the first HOH last season. So yeah, that was the moment where I realized that our draft is cursed. We're still thinking of what our options are now with Suri being added, bringing it up to 17, and like how's this going to work? We have a, we think we have an idea in mind, but anyway, enough about that. Riley is HOH. She's the first female to be the first HOH since Christy in BB21, and I don't really acknowledge well really anything about that season too much, but Christy was a special brand of annoying that season. I mean, woman, you are an adult. Chew with your mouth closed. Oh, yes. Riley is the first HOH of BB25. And as a lot of people, including myself, had predicted, this means that instead of having to nominate two people, since there's already four nominees, she's going to get to effectively save two people. And she was already being okay with Corey. Like, he was one of the few who was like, yeah, Corey seems like a nice guy. So that's when I started to think, okay, maybe Corey actually has a shot of surviving this first week, not suffering the same fate as his brother. So, Sari, Jared, and Izzy, who are like basically three of the most dominant people in the house. I mean, they're Sari is the most dominant, and then Jared, Izzy, and Felicia are tied for second most dominant because they're Sari's inner circle. So they're talking, Sari, Jared, and Izzy. They think she's going to save Jared, and they want it to be Corey and uh, Kirsten that stay on the block. I just saw I accidentally wrote Kristen in my notes. My bad about that. Um, so I was already thinking Kirsten is very likely to stay on the block, and I was thinking they were probably going to try to convince Riley to leave Corey. And also, Cerise suspects that the scary room, people who were sleeping in the scary room, or were before Riley got the HOH room, suspects that those people, Riley, Blue, Cameron, Jag, and Matt, were aligned. I wasn't too sure about Cameron at that point, but the rest of them were definitely very tight, and we're going to talk more about um, where this possible alliance goes soon. But yeah, Sari was on to something. Let's just go with that. So Jared, Luke, and Matt are talking. They they speak positively about Blue and Jag. I'm like, that's what I like to hear. They were my two favorites preseason, and Matt was my third favorite preseason. So to hear that he is getting along with them is a relief for me. And because those were the first three picks for my draft team. Blue, Jag, Matt. They were the three I wanted most, and I got them, and I'm proud of that. They're a little wary of Red, and they distrust Corey and Kirsten the most. And Jared pitches that they have sort of like a cookout plan where they have their own group, their own core, if you will. Core is a very popular word so far this season. So they want their core and then people that they're individually close to as like sort of sort of like a shield. And Jared also suggests that they should bring Suri in. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why Suri's son wants Suri in an alliance that's aiming for a cookout type of strategy. I wonder why would Jared want his mother in a strategy that is tried and true. But Luke and Matt, they're like, oh yeah, Suri's cool. We're totally fine bringing her in. Um, Kirsten, I was already talking about how Kirsten was kind of making a bit of a mess of things, and I've talked about it a lot on Twitter. This is really kind of where it really started to go awry. So separately, she tells this to Suri and Heisem separately. She says that there's a love triangle going on between me and Matt and Riley. No, there isn't. I mean, Matt has talked to both of them and he's friendly with both of them, but it doesn't seem romantic with either of them yet. I haven't really seen any romantic stuff going on so far. Like, there's a lot of people that are close to each other and making strong connections, but I've yet to see any actual possible showman stuff going yet. So yeah, that was a mess, and yeah, it's it all just kind of feeds more into really what a lot of people are going to continue to talk about, and we'll get into it more as it comes. But I think there is a right and wrong way to talk about the way um, that Kirsten is playing this game. Some people are talking about it the right way, others the wrong way. But we will get to that. Hold on. Sorry. Um, Felicia talks to Riley about the mess that Kirsten is making. Riley thinks that Kirsten is just there to stir the pot, which I don't know about that, but she's definitely not doing. I don't know if she's doing it deliberately. She is stirring the pot, but I don't think it's as intentional as some people seem to be suspecting. Felicia talking to Riley like this, I respect it. Felicia is nominated. She's positioned herself very well socially, but the fact of the matter is, she is still nominated. So she's got to put in some work with the HOH. So I respect her for doing that. Some people were like, oh, come on, why you got to throw Kirsten under the bus? I don't know, because it was easy. And all of this is just kind of starting to make me feel like Riley's just going to start looking at Kirsten as a safe target to do. Corey talks to Isom, says that he trusts Suri. He feels safe around her. Meanwhile, he doesn't know that at this point in time, she is leaning towards getting rid of him over Kirsten. And then we got Jared talking to Riley. Now, um, Suri is a Survivor legend. I don't know if Jared is going to go down as a Big Brother legend because that's how this conversation goes. He talks to Riley and says that Kirsten tried to start an alliance. This alliance in question is the already dead Phalanx 5. And Riley's just like, I was there. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I thought I thought I muted myself. So you probably did just hear me sneeze. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, that that was sort of that was a pretty funny moment. I was just like, I was in the room. Jared completely forgot that he had already formed an alliance with the person that would go on to win head of households. Now, for me, I would be asking some questions like, you forget that the person that you were in an alliance with a couple of hours into being in this house, you forgot that someone you were in that alliance with was in your alliance, and then they went HOH, and you just completely forget. Are you serious? That would have me thinking, how much have you got going on, Jared? But Riley did not seem to catch that. Um, anyway, they keep talking about how they want their alliance to go, and she's. I'm sorry. Jared says that he wants him, Matt, and Luke, and then three women in their alliance. Again, should have been a red flag because, I mean, you're telling a woman that you already have kind of a broy alliance, but you want three women as well. Like you're already close with these bros, and you've been closer to them. You were closer to them first, and it should have raised some eyebrows, but Riley again did not pick up on it. All she really picked up on was the fact that Jag was not in it, and she's like, "I really want Jag in it." And he's like, "Oh, well, yeah, Jag's automatic." Um, okay, so he wants himself, Matt, Luke, and three women. That's what he wanted, a six-person thing. And then now he's saying Jag is automatic. That's seven. So it's just he definitely has a tendency to stick his foot in his mouth. So Riley's talking to Blue after this. She tells Blue that she wants an eight-person alliance. And I hear eight-person alliance, and I'm just like, that's too big to be interesting. Like, there was Grateful in BB21, which briefly became undeniable when they decided to bring Sam in. Luckily, it fell apart soon after that. But, I mean, an eight-person alliance, even though, like, the people that are looking like they're going to be in this alliance are people that I do like, for the most part, I just, eight people is too big for an alliance. As far as I'm concerned, six is the magic number. That was how many the cookout had. That's how many level six had, and they weren't the final six, but they did play the game pretty well. And also the other side of the house played really poorly. I think that seven is the maximum to be interesting because seven was how many there were in the leftovers last year. But of course, the problem is that seven is unstable. Case in point, the leftovers were not the final seven. They turned on each other. Well, Kyle kind of outed it, and it just sort of fell apart. They didn't all turn on each other, but um, Kyle turned on them, turned on Joseph, and got Turner on his side. But you know, I'm saying is the, the last non-leftover made it to fifth place last year. So yeah, seven is an unstable alliance, and this is what it's looking like so far in terms of what this eight-person alliance would be that Riley's talking about. It's Riley and Blue, the two that are talking. Jag, Jared, Matt, Luke, Sari, Felicia. But then there was also some talk of Izzy. Like, will she be part of this? And this is just kind of like well, it's mostly what Jared had pitched, but also Blue is now in it. And Jag hears that this was kind of what Jared wanted, and now he's a little uneasy about it because he's kind of feeling like if we go forward with this and we are who's left, then we're probably going to be at the bottom of it. And he's not wrong to feel that way, in my opinion. So he's a little uneasy about that. But Riley and Jag, they once again reaffirm to each other they've got each other no matter what. And I was definitely thinking this is a really interesting duo because I was really liking both of them at this time. Now I kind of only like one of them, but we'll get to that. Uh, Again, I'm sorry that I'm so stuffed up, just like I was the last time I did this. There's way too much pollen. Actually, I'm gonna be right back. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. I gotta say, Taryn makes this look easy. That man never looks tired. He never sounds ill or congested in any way. I don't know how he does it. I swear, one day I will go through one of these without mentioning Taryn. Anyway, uh, Riley talks to Izzy, says she's not even thinking about a replacement nominee because she wants to work with so many people. But like, you do kind of have to start thinking about this sort of thing because it can go wrong very easily. I mean, the last two seasons, the week one target won the veto, or at least the initial week one target won the veto. And it's like, really? Last year it was Michael. The year before that it was Derek X. So yeah, that is a big thing about how Riley's game, how Riley's HOH is going. She's making too many strong connections with too many people, and she just likes everybody, almost everybody, and like she wants to just have this big kumbaya thing going on. But then we also later find out that she just kind of wants to exclude one person from it, and that would be Kirsten. But like, but getting a little ahead of myself. Point is, Riley is playing in kind of a messy way right now. So Corey talks to Riley. I think he's at least self-aware enough to know that he is in a vulnerable position. So he's talking to Riley, he's telling her a lot, and a lot of it didn't stick until he mentions that Felicia might be a safer pawn than he would, being up against Kirsten. And he also brings up the fact that his brother was on Survivor. And I think he mentioned that he was the first one out. Pretty sure he mentioned that. And if he did, then that is definitely something that will weigh on Riley's decision in regards to if he wants to just let that whole family be cursed. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. If I was HOH, Corey comes to me and says, "Hey, man, my brother was the first one kicked off of Survivor. I really don't want to be the first one kicked off Big Brother." I would have been like, "You know what? I don't have the heart to do it to you. You're good." I mean, I knew it wouldn't happen, but personally, I wanted Kirsten and Jared stay on the block. Corey and Felicia come off. That's what I wanted. Because, I mean, like I said, Kirsten doing a bit too much. Jared is also doing a bit too much, but he has a bit of a safety net in his mother. And also Riley, because, you know, Riley Riley isn't very perceptive in regards to not great gameplay. Like she's just like she's taking it all in and like it's all just so amazing for her. And she's not really picking it apart too much. But if she did, she'd see that there's quite a few people that she's supposedly close with who are playing kind of shaky games right now. So Riley and Sari, they they bond more, they talk more. Riley suggests that Felicia actually stay up as a pawn on the basis of who's going to vote her out. Everyone loves Felicia. And Sari does not push back, and she does not seem to mind this plan as much as I was expecting. You know, I don't think she loves it, but she's like, eh, Felicia versus Kirsten. Obviously, Felicia's going to stay. So, so yeah, Sari was kind of okay with that. And okay, so as I've been saying, Riley eventually gets to the point where she kind of overtakes Kirsten in terms of mess being made. So she's actually no longer interested in working with Luke, and he's actually a possible backdoor target for her if the veto were to be used. But she is now interested in Cameron, America, and Corey, working with them. So if we leave out Izzy from the group that Jared was talking about, this is now 11 people. 11. This is an 11-person alliance. Now, I think that Riley and Jag, they could have maneuvered this in a certain way. I'm mostly talking about Riley here because she's the HOH, but and Jag's just kind of going along with it because he's her friend. He wants to respect her HOH. But I think that she could have maneuvered this as having like secret opposing alliances that would protect her and go after each other, and she wouldn't get any blood on her hands. But here's actually how this 11-person alliance is structured. It's sort of like a tiered thing. So Jag and Blue, she is really close with Blue now, and Blue's really close with Jag too. Um, They are like her core three. Again, core, very popular term this season. Riley has her core. Izzy and Suri have their core. There's a guy named Corey. It's all over the place. So many, so much use of the word core. But anyway, Riley, Jag, Blue are the core three. They call themselves crowd control. And then the next tier of this alliance is Matt and Cameron. So that brings us back to what was talked about earlier, the scary room. Riley, Jag, Blue, Cameron, Matt. They were all in the scary room. And I believe it was Suri that clocked them as an alliance. Yep, it was. So that is the next layer. And they are called Handful, the five of them from the scary room, because there were creepy hands in the scary room. Then there is another layer. This is where Jared, America, and Corey come in. So that brings us up to eight. And this is now called family style. But on top of that, they want to protect Suri, Felicia, and Izzy. So they're not even going for them, and they want to like stay close to them, protect them. So that brings us to 11. And in fact, I dare say it got up to 12 because they also talk about how they like Nicole and Bowie, but they're only like kind of half in. So I count both of them as like a half, and then the two halves make one more. So we're at 12. We are at a 12-person alliance structure. Riley, really? Oh God. And like I want to be happy that my top two preseason picks, Blue and Jag, are this tight with the head of household. But Riley is doing a lot, and this doesn't seem sustainable. So I do think that it could hurt them sooner rather than later. Especially once Jared hears about it. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I mean, they want to bring Jared in, and like even at this point, I'm thinking if they tell Jared, so he's going to know pretty quickly, and by extension, Izzy and probably Felicia too. All right, so this is where Riley really started losing a lot of people, a lot of support. She's talking repeatedly about how she doesn't need an all-female alliance. And like, it's one thing to just choose your people and they're your people, like regardless of gender. You could have just left gender out of it completely. But no, she's deliberately saying over and over how she doesn't need an all-female alliance to prove that women are better at Big Brother. And it's just like you don't have to even really comment on it if you don't want to do it. Just don't do it. Like we knew you wanted to work with Jag. Just we know you want to work with Jared, so just work with them. Just I didn't like how she just I didn't like how she kept being so vocally against it. And she says Kirsten is doing too much. Anyone else, I would be like, yes, I agree. And I mean, I do agree, but coming from her, it's a little ironic because, like I just said, she is trying to make an alliance of basically two-thirds of the house. And anyway, she says Kirsten is doing too much. And she says that Kirsten has her hand in too many cookie jars and the cookies are all talking. The chocolate chip cookies are talking to the peanut butter cookies, and the peanut butter cookies are talking to the lemon cookies. And I remember a lot of people were just like, what? Like they didn't understand what she meant. I understood what she was saying. I just found it stupid. It's just such a weird analogy. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like that's the kind of thing that, like, if you're gonna say it, you gotta say it with confidence. And it just didn't really, I don't know, from her with everything she's been doing, it just felt kind of goofy. So Serene and Izzy are talking about how they want a foursome, but the names that thrown around are Blue, Felicia, and Bowie. And then of course there's still Jared. But what ends up happening is they uh they bring in Bowie and they tell her it's them and Felicia. And Izzy also says that she thinks they're going to be splitting the team soon by this multiverse twist. So don't really know about that. I wouldn't be surprised, the way they've been talking about this whole multiverse thing. And then there's also a lot of chatter about there being a possible 18th house guest, which I'm not going to lie would work wonders for this draft that I've done with my dad and my brother, because then we could just have six people each, and it's nice and even. But I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna go quite that way. So we finally get the nomination ceremony, which is kind of an inversion of what we're used to, because it's Riley saving two people. And she saves Jared and Corey, which going into it was basically expected. It was what I expected, at least. And I think a lot of people did as well, even in the house. Um, Here's what I liked. Kirsten got a group hug from a lot of people. Jag and Blue came up to her and comforted her and encouraged her, like, you're not done yet. Don't give up. Is it genuine? I don't know. But it's preferable to last year when Taylor was on the outs and everyone just made a point to avoid her. Like they would leave the room when she came in. So I'm glad that that's not completely the case this season. Kirsten isn't a complete outcast, but there are some people that um, might be doing too much in regards to um, talking about her mistakes in the game. Izzy talks to Heisem, says that she will use the veto on Felicia if she gets it, and she wants Corey to be the replacement. And I'm just thinking that wouldn't really make much sense. I mean, unless Corey, unless Riley specifically has to, if the if one of the nominees is vetoed, she specifically has to put up one of the people she just pulled down. Then that'd be one thing, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And honestly, that would be very unfair if that were the case, because that would mean 13 people have immunity. Like, that's mm, no, 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 no. So yeah, I didn't see Riley putting him back up. Also, Izzy knows that Jag is Riley's number one, partly because Riley tells everybody how much she loves Jag. Um, this is another reason I started to ease off my support of Riley, because I was starting to like her, but I already like Jag. And the way her HOH is going, Like, I mean, she's already kind of making kind of difficult for herself going forward. Like, she could find herself in early eviction if she's not careful. I mean, last year, Smellus, first HOH, didn't make jury. Year before that, Frenchie, first HOH, second one out. So, if Riley is making this much of a mess, but they know Jag is her ride or die, then like if they can't get her, then they'll get him. Or they'll put them up together or something. So yeah, I'm just like, Riley, you're kind of blowing up my man's spot here. Don't do that. Um, we got Jared talking to his mother and Izzy. I can tell, honestly, it kind of changes day to day in regards to. And I say day to day, that this is day 4. Uh, it changes every couple hours in regards to whether I feel like Suri is closer to Izzy or Felicia. But in this moment, it seems like she's closer to Izzy. Jared talks to the two of them about the other alliances that he's got forming right now. After he leaves, Suri says that he needs to get his answers together quicker. If she's as insightful a gamer as her reputation suggests, she also realizes how bad he is at Big Brother. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Sometimes it seems like Jared was plucked off the tree and thrown across the field. He is nowhere near Suri's tree, the tree of Suri. I just think that as a sort of thing about maybe Jared's reads aren't as good as Suri's. But I think there is someone who probably has a worse read that I would like to get to right now. Red, talking to Suri and Izzy, he says he feels good about them and tells them that he thinks that Kirsten has a crush on him, so she'd expect him to use it on her. Really, Red? You think this woman that looks like a supermodel and is in peak physical condition has a crush on you, a hillbilly mountain man? Is this really what you think? Come on, dude. Be serious. Be serious. He also says that he likes Cameron, he likes Heisem. He said that Cameron he's got like a same kind of country boy background, and I don't remember what his reasoning was for why he likes Heisem, but he likes Heisem. My battery's getting a little low on my laptop. I should probably this in. I started at full battery power. So there it is. So, I've talked about how Jack was my preseason favorite. He was second to Blue, and this is the part where we start talking about how maybe Blue is not as safe as I might have thought she was. Izzy tells Suri that she's scared of Blue. Felicia tells Nicole that Blue and America are wild cards, but Nicole says, I don't know about Blue. She just doesn't know about her. The implication being she doesn't trust her. Like, there's to me there's kind of there's two ways you can say you don't know about someone. You could just be like, I don't know about them. Like that's when you genuinely don't know. And then it's like, I don't know. That's when you're leaning towards the um, mistrusting side. really this laggy today? Dang. So we get an alliance. It's not a foursome, but a fivesome. It's well, Izzy, Sari, Felicia, and Nicole are waiting for Bowie to join to establish this alliance. And their name is the Bye Bye BITCHs. And I don't curse because I'm afraid of my mother watching these and yelling at me for cursing. So from this point forward, I am referring to them as Triple B. Bye Bye Female Dog. Female dogs, because that's another name for a female dog. So yeah, that's an alliance a lot of people are excited about. I mean, I think just about anybody would be excited about any alliance that Suri is in. But yeah, just down to the name, people are enjoying this one. Okay. Now we have to talk about something that I really did not find okay in the slightest. And it is in regards to Cameron. Before the show started, I didn't really know what to make of him. I'm like, okay, he looks kind of like well, I also kind of thought he was a bit of a mountain man, but he's a little more hipstery. But I was just like, I feel like he might just be kind of in the middle for me, maybe at best. But then, like, I started seeing some of his past social media posts, like some of the things he's spoken in support of, and I'm like, you know what? I think this guy's actually going to turn out to be a good egg. And when Izzy was calling him a serial killer, I'm like, that's a bit much. I feel like we don't need to do that. But then he refers to Kirsten with the word cotton, a man from Georgia, referring to an African American woman as cotton. The only way that I wouldn't have found something wrong with this is if he was explicitly making a dodgeball reference. It's a bold strategy. Let's see how it plays out, Cotton. But I really do not think that is the case. I think he just is being, yeah, I'll say it, racist. That was a racist comment. And this guy is number 4 on my draft team. So I'm really not okay with that. But of course, my fourth round draft pick last year was Paloma, so maybe that part is cursed. And for that matter, the year before, it was Sarah Beth. Took her a little while for me to hate her, but I did by the end. But yeah, just that's not okay. And like I was saying before, there are ways to talk about Kirsten's game not being very good. You can say she's messy. Personally, I think she's more sloppy than messy because I like mess. I don't like sloppy. There, you could say chaotic, maybe. Uh, Actually, I don't know about chaotic. I don't think she's quite there. Frenchie was chaotic. Yeah, okay, I take it back. I wouldn't use chaotic for Kirsten, but unreliable is valid. Untrustworthy, sure, but we don't need to say Cotton unless we're saying like if he had said to her bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for her. Like, yeah, okay, that's a dodgeball reference, but that's not what he said. And I'm not like saying this to like give him an excuse for it if he apologizes for it after the show. Like, I mean, I'm not saying here use this. I'm not trying to be his PR guy, okay? I mean, I'm acting like anyone watches these. I get 2 views a stream if I'm lucky. But I just feel like that might be the excuse he goes for. That's my prediction of his excuse, not my excuse that I'm handing to him. Just watch. He watches my video and I give him an out. Well, if that is what you try, I'm not gonna believe him. I'm not gonna believe you, buddy. All right, so the time has come for Jared to hear about the 8-person alliance. But by now, okay, so the core three, Riley, Jag, and Blue, they had already brought in Matt and Cameron and just made it seem like, okay, we're gonna have this thing going, the 5 of us. But then let's bring in a couple more people and bring them up to 8. And that's gonna be family time. But Jag tells Jared about it because that was the plan. He was going to be in this tier. Jared finds out about it, and as expected, he ratted them out immediately. I was kind of surprised that Izzy was the first one he told and not Sari, but okay. Um, okay, I'm going to check something real quick. I think I have the veto players, but I mean, I think I know who they are. Because I don't want to talk about them, but I'm just going to double check. But, I mean, last time I checked, BB updates had not said who was competing for veto. So, I mean, that's maybe I'm biased, but that's just like my most reliable source. So, I don't know. Until I hear from them, I kind of want to wait. Let me just see if BB updates officially says it yet. Who the veto players are. I mean, of course, it's Riley, Felicia, and Kirsten. Oh, now Cerie's saying they need Luke because she's figured out there's an 8-person thing going on the other side. Cerie says if they get, well, they kind of have Red, and if they get Red and Luke, they'd have the majority. Okay. Okay. As far as I can tell, the players in the veto competition are Riley, Felicia, Kirsten, Blue, Bowie, and Heisem. Um, Personally, because I feel the blue spot in the house has been blown up a little bit, I kind of want her to be picked. I mean, like I'm not worried about her this week. Like I'm not worried about Blue being the first one out. But she's another one that's pretty close to Riley, and if they can't get to Riley, they could get to her closer allies. But if I'm being honest, I predict Tyson is going to win because I mean, look at the guy; he's jacked. Granted, I don't know what the competition is, but he's also smart. He's he's a geriatric. I'm still not sure if it's physician or psychiatrist. I feel like I've heard both. I mean, it might be both. I don't know. He's he's a doctor. He's some kind of doctor. So yeah, my prediction is that Heisen is going to win. Oh, and I actually had another note after I made my prediction there. This is before, like what I just told you, that Luke stuff with Sari and Heisem, like saying they need to pull Luke in. Um, Just backtracking a little bit, Riley tells Suri and Izzy that Luke would be the replacement. Izzy's happy to know, like just happy they got a name. But Suri feels that Riley doesn't trust her because she left her out of this eight-person alliance that Jared has already told her about. And now I have the hiccups, pardon me. Another thing that never happens to Jared. But, I'm not jealous of that guy or anything. Oh my god. I hope the hiccups go away soon. I got one sip left of my drink. All right, but I'm gonna check more of Twitter now. I'll try and see what else is going on. All right, not seeing much. I can't believe I got through all my notes in under an hour, which means I probably left a good amount of stuff out. The only other thing I got from BB Daily, Big Brother updates, well, Big Brother Daily at BB underscore updates on Twitter. It's just Riley telling Felicia, I hope you feel comfortable. Do not worry a single bit. The odds are very much in our favor, so don't even sweat. Okay, so I think no matter what, I think Felicia is probably not in any serious danger. Even if Kirsten were to win the veto, Luke would go up, and admittedly, that might make things. No, it wouldn't. No, sorry, I got my wires crossed there. Felicia versus Luke. Not a chance. Like, Sari wants to bring Luke in now, but she ain't gonna sacrifice Felicia for him, I don't think. If it ends up being Luke versus Kirsten, like, let's say either Felicia wins the veto or the veto is used on Felicia, Luke would go up. It's Luke versus Kirsten. Well, then Suri wants to keep Luke, so she has the votes. But then Riley's side also wants to vote out Kirsten, so actually probably be unanimous. And I think, unless certain people are prevented from voting, which I've actually considered, like maybe the people who are nominated on night one, they're not allowed to vote. That's something that has crossed my mind. But let's say everybody is able to vote. It's two votes, or two people sitting on the block. The HOH only votes in a tie. That's 14 people voting. So if it's unanimous, which I think it would be for Kirsten, if I think if Kirsten's on the block, I don't see her. I definitely don't see her getting any votes to stay over Felicia. If it's Kirsten versus Felicia, I think it's going to be 14-0, which would be unprecedented. I think. Would it be? Yeah, because I don't think it was unanimous for Jace, BB17. That season also had 17 people. Well, no, it definitely wouldn't have because they still did not know about the twins at that point. They were voting as one. They literally said in unison, "We vote to evict Jace." So even if he was unanimous, which I don't believe he was, yeah, that wouldn't have that wouldn't have been the first time. So this would be a true first. Kirsten being the first person evicted with 14 votes. And if it's Kirsten versus Luke, I think again, Sari, I think is starting to see some value in keeping Luke around as a number for her because she's starting to see, like she assumed he was in with them. That's kind of why Luke's game fell apart a little bit. He wasn't really in too good with anyone, and so everyone just kind of started assuming, oh well, he's just not with me. He's got people, but those people aren't. It doesn't include me. Sari, I think, is actually probably the first person to realize he is kind of alone and he is a number. So yeah, that is pretty slick on Sari's part. And this is what I want to talk about before I end the stream. Um, I love the gameplay this season. There is a lot of it. There are so many people playing the game in this house. And I was wondering how it was going to be with Sari. Like, I didn't see her on Survivor, and I've made it clear I am not a big fan of Survivor. And like, I was worried, would this be a BB19 poll situation where everybody just kind of lays down for her and just lets her dominate the game? And they all want to work with Sari. They all want to be on Sari's good side. But there's a lot of people playing. There are a lot of people here that are running for the gold themselves. And I, for one, love it. And I think Sari is a very good player. I mean, I just talked about another reason why I like her realizing Luke is a number for her. That is impressive. That impressed me. And I think, yeah, I like her even more now for realizing that because I always I always respect people who are perceptive. So I love Sari as a player. My problem is not with Sari at all. I'm impressed by Sari. I have a problem with her fans. Not all of her fans, but there is a very vocal portion of her fan base that is just incensed, outraged at the mere concept of people playing this game in a way that does not benefit Sari specifically. Like, so many people hate Jag and Blue now. Like, people are turning on them because they're in an alliance, a big alliance that doesn't include Sari. But did you ever stop to think that maybe they recognize Sari's threat level and they're playing in the best way they can to protect themselves? Granted, they don't know that there's a mole in their big alliance, being Jared, just writing out everything they do. Like but here's the thing though. Jared is their mole, and yet at least Jag and Blue in particular are very intelligent players, and they're very social, and they're able to maneuver pretty well so far. And like, I just I don't understand. Okay, well, the point I was going for, because I lost my train of thought there for a second. Even with Sari basically knowing what they're gonna do, I still feel like they can do it. Like Jared might be ratting them out, but you know, they could win competitions. And if they do, then like, you know, Sari will probably be able to manipulate things a little bit, but if if they win a lot, then there might not be as much you can do going forward. But here's the thing: I don't understand why so many of Sari's fans, and again, I just want to make clear, my beef is not with Sari. I really am enjoying watching Sari play. This is my first time seeing Sari, and so far she's living up to her reputation for me. I just don't understand why there's so many people watching this show that want Sari to steamroll. They just want Sari to blow through the game, have zero opposition, and give her the win. She was denied on Survivor 4 times, even though she already won the traitors. To be clear, I'm not against Suri winning. I want her to win over quite a lot of people in this house at the moment. But I want her to earn that win. I want her to be Taylor, not Cody Cauliflower. Taylor had to fight for her place every single day last season. Cody Cauliflower, he had it handed to him before he even went in. Suri, I'm hoping for, kind of a happy medium here. I want her to, not have to suffer like Taylor did. But I also want her to put in some work because I want her, I'm not against Suri winning, but I want her to earn that win. I don't want it handed to her. There's a reason so many people in the Big Brother fandom respect Taylor far more than Cody Cauliflower. And yes, that is what I'm always going to call him because screw him. But yes, that's my little mini rant. Not against Suri, but against Suri. Suri stands in particular. Suri fans are okay. Suri stands are insane. And also Kirsten stands are a little ridiculous. Like they want everything to work out perfectly in Kirsten's favor, even though here's the thing. Suri probably has the most insane stands. Kirsten is second. I'm telling you. Kirsten hasn't really done anything well so far. Like, I'm sorry to hurt you with the truth, but there you go. And like I've said it before, Kirsten has kind of put herself in this position to an extent. I don't I don't like Cameron's cotton comment in the slightest. And there are a few people that are going on and on about, oh, she's crazy. She's gonna explode at any moment. Like, no, we're not doing this again. We said repeatedly about Taylor when Taylor was like the calmest person in the house last year. The only time I ever saw Taylor get mad last season was when she fake yelled at Kyle for not using the veto on Alyssa on her HOH week. But even then, she was playing it up like it wasn't real, and she cracked up laughing afterwards. So I don't like how certain people, and it's not just Cameron with these kinds of comments. Izzy hasn't liked her for a while. Heisem's kind of getting in on it. Riley, unfortunately, is getting in on it. And yeah, that is what I don't like. But in terms of Kirsten's actual game, like talking strictly in terms of game, Kirsten has put herself in her own messy situation. So yeah, I personally would not be heartbroken if Kirsten leaves. And unless she wins the veto, that's probably what's going to happen. Assuming that these are the veto people, is what I think would happen in case each person would win. Riley would not use it. She does not want to put up a third person. She doesn't want to get any more blood on her hands. Of course, the nominees would save themselves, Felicia and Kirsten. That's just sort of a given. Like if you win the veto and you don't save yourself, then I'm sorry, you deserve to be voted out. Did Bo teach you nothing? Not Bo. Marcellus. Did Marcellus teach you nothing? Sorry. Um, Blue winning it. First of all, I think Blue winning it would be good for her because I think she would then start talking some more game with Sari than she has been, and that could probably boost Blue's spot a little bit because you know the last day or so, it's kind of been going down a little bit. Like she started really strong, and she's still pretty good, but it's it's getting a little wobbly. So I think having the power in her hands would probably boost Blue's spot a little. Like she hasn't sunk so low that her winning power would just completely disrupt everything. It just kind of right the ship for her a little bit. Um, Bowie, I think would probably just probably just do what Suri wants, which would probably be, you know, let's leave it the same. Actually, you know what? Suri might want Felicia to come off the block, and then Luke would go up. But then Suri would risk losing him as a no. No, I guess she wouldn't. Okay, yeah. Well, we would use the veto on Felicia. Isom would absolutely use the veto on Felicia. I think he even said as much at one point. Well, no, he was talking to Izzy, who said she would, and I feel like Isom probably didn't disagree too much. So yeah, that is where we are at. I'm gonna do one last check for anything going on. I don't think there is. I mean, what am I saying? Of course there is. It's been a busy few days. Oh, okay, this is from Heisem. The other side is blue, and she is connected to America, and they are connected to Jag, and Jag is connected to Riley, and Riley is connected to Matt. Izzy says Matt and Jared. Heisem says, and Cameron is connected to Jared. And so he says, and they brought Corey in. Uh yeah, I'm just checking. Did anyone get left out? Nope, that's everyone. Yeah, Jared ratted them out successfully. And Sari is now saying, this is why we need Luke. Sari saying, don't expose Jared, but let them think they have the numbers, but he's secretly voting with them. Oh boy. This is this is a split house. It's 8 versus 8, and then there's Kirsten that everybody's just kind of okay with her leaving. Oh man. Oh man, this is gonna be so fun. This is gonna be such a great season. Like, I'm not even picking a side. I just want to. I want to see how this battle plays out. I will say that Riley's side probably needs to maintain control for another week or two. Otherwise, otherwise they could get picked off. I mean, if they're able to control probably the next 2 or 3 HOHs, then I think they're pretty well set. And if they ever figure out that Jared is is a double agent, the true traitor this season, if you will, just like his mother was on the Traitors. Um, yeah, this is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this actually going to be a split house where both sides are actually competent at the game? This isn't just a level 6 versus Faute slash the Hive situation. Oh my god. It's like a dream come true. You know, I'm checking for more updates. I'm sorry. This is too good. This is way too good. I'm I'm so excited. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Okay, I'm gonna call it here. But oh my God, this is the best. I will be back probably Monday. I think I might do my stream before the veto meeting, but by then we'll probably have an idea of what's going to happen anyway. I think Kirsten is probably going to leave unless she wins the veto. And we already got some chaos going. We got a split house thing going on. If Kirsten wins the veto, oh man, like I don't even like Kirsten that much, but I like I like chaos. All right, I'm gonna call it a day here. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my one viewer. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching this later on YouTube. I will see you next time. Peace out.